Dr. Scholes, I am honored to announce the members of the graduating class, the faculty and staff, and administrators of the Chicago School are now present. All are gathered here for the 2023 commencement ceremony of the Chicago and online campuses.
Please be seated. Actually, you're going to have to stand up pretty soon. Thank you, Dr. Ormandy, and welcome to all. Please stand and face the United States flag as we listen to our national anthem, as sung by Saishri Podisapu, a student in the clinical psychology program. Now, please be seated. I grew up Catholic, so this is just like being in church. Stand up, sit down, kneel. I'm Dr. Ted Scholes, Chief Academic Officer and Vice President of Academic Affairs at the Chicago School. It's my distinct honor and pleasure to welcome you to the Rosemont Theater for the 39th commencement ceremony of our Chicago and online campuses. Commencement is a wonderful tradition at the Chicago School, and we are honored to share it with you. As you share these memories with your friends and family on social media, please share them with using the hashtag TCSPPGrad23. Please join me in welcoming the special guests we are honoring today. I ask that they rise as I call their names and then remain standing. Eli Williamson, honorary degree recipient and commencement speaker. Caroline Susan Claffey and Kristen Lawholm are representatives of the class of 2023. Thank you, and please be seated. For our graduates, this event is the culmination of several years of study. For the families of our graduates, this event is the manifestation of hopes and dreams. For the faculty who toiled along with our graduates, this event is a moment of immense pride. Pride in your accomplishments. Family members, graduates, faculty, and special guests, this is indeed a momentous occasion, a time to celebrate, a time to reflect, and a time to prepare. Today, advice will be given, stories will be told, there'll be laughter, there'll be tears, there'll be profound silence, and there'll be thunderous applause. I cannot wait. To begin, I would like to call forward Dr. Mike Crawford, our Chicago campus dean.
Thank you, Dr. Scholes. I have the honor of recognizing the winners of our 2023 Distinguished Teaching Awards. First bestowed in 2006, these honors support and recognize faculty members who demonstrate excellence in the classroom, public service, and multicultural teaching. The recipients are nominated by students and their peers. Award recipients in attendance, please stand and be recognized when your name is called. Winner of the Public Service Teaching Excellence Award, Dr. Jaleel Abdul Adil, Clinical Psychology Department, Chicago campus. And this year we have two winners of the Distinguished International Research Scholarship Award. Dr. Cynthia Lang Tu, Clinical Psychology Department, Chicago campus. And Dr. Todd DeBose, Clinical Psychology Department, Chicago campus. Congratulations, and thank you for your academic leadership. I now have the honor to recognize our newest appointment to the rank of Faculty Emeritus, Dr. Candace Hughes of the School Psychology Department. Dr. Hughes has served as a core faculty member in the School Psychology Department since 2009 and as adjunct faculty for the International Psychology Department since 2014. She was awarded the Chicago School Multicultural Teaching Excellence Award in 2020. She is an experienced teacher and school psychologist who has worked in public schools in the United States, for the New Jersey Department of Education as a regional state school psychologist, and in international schools in Germany and Switzerland. Her international experiences led Dr. Hughes to serve as one of four partners in the establishment of the company Bridging Cultures in Zurich, Switzerland in 1996. Its focus was to help internationally mobile people with cross-cultural transitions and personal growth. She created a cultural transition resiliency model, which she has used in her private practice, consulting and training work, and her teaching. Dr. Hughes also provides training and coaching on topics related to living, learning, and working in the multicultural context. She has served on numerous boards of directors, locally and nationally. Dr. Hughes, please stand and be recognized. She's already standing. We have an award that will be presented to Dr. Hughes later. I'd like to call forward Dr. Margie Martin, Executive Dean of the Chicago School, to introduce our honorary degree recipient.
Thank you so much, Dr. Crawford. I now have the honor of introducing Mr. Eli Williamson, our honorary degree recipient. Mr. Williamson is the co-founder of Leave No Veteran Behind, an Illinois-based nonprofit focused on employment opportunities for veterans. And while serving as executive director of Leave No Veteran Behind, Mr. Williamson implemented debt relief and transitional employment programs, workforce skills training, and community service opportunities for veterans making the transition from military to civil life. Previously, as the Director of Veterans Programs for the Robert R. McCormick Foundation, he led the Foundation's place-based grant-making and efforts to improve veteran outcomes in the areas of employment, behavioral health, and navigation of services. He currently consults with individuals and cross-sector institutions on leveraging existing behaviors for philanthropic good. Prior to 2009, Mr. Williamson served in both Iraq and Afghanistan as a non-commissioned officer in the U.S. Army, a member of psychological operations, and as an Arabic linguist. Before leaving the Army, he served as a retention officer, providing career counseling and transition support to soldiers leaving the military. Mr. Williamson received a Bachelor of Arts in Communication and Linguistics with a minor in African Studies from Luther College in Iowa and is currently completing a master's degree in nonprofit management at DePaul University. He serves on the Board of Advisors for the Truman National Security Project, the Board of Directors for the Global Strategist Association, and the Board of Directors for the South Shore Chamber of Commerce in Chicago. Please welcome Mr. Eli Williamson to the podium. We're going to hood you. And let me call Dr. Scholes. Could you come to the podium as well?
By the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of the Chicago School, I hereby confer upon Eli Williamson the degree of Doctors of Humanities honoris causa, with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto pertaining.
That's a lot to do.
When asked about what I miss the most about the military, it would be easy for me to say that I miss the camaraderie or the mission, but in reality, the one thing that I miss most is the dark humor. All the other things were important, but during the most difficult moments of my career, it was so important to find humor when faced with the dysfunction of war and conflict. The teams in which I found laughter were the tightest, and on those teams, the mission always took precedence. But my darkest days were always lightened by the most appropriate ironies articulated at the most inappropriate times. It was during these moments of suffering that I realized that the power of words was only supplanted by the power to laugh at the conditions in which those words were made manifest. It is in the moment of dark levity in which I realize that words truly do matter. Whether we were given an order that may cost our lives, or given an order that may cost the lives of those who are under our care, the difference in my ability to overcome an obstacle many times hinged on the ability to find the hidden irony of the situation that provided a sense that, you know what, if it gets any worse, I guess I just got to laugh at it. It is through the joy of laughter that it has become clear to me that certain words in our society are weighted heavier than others. As behavioral health professionals who sit before us, much of your studies up until this point have focused on words and concepts that describe the interaction of the mind and behaviors of those who seek your expertise. The words you use can provide clarity to those who are under the fog of distress, or potentially muddy the waters for those who thought they had it all figured out. Yet there is one 5-letter word that will impact everything that you do as you go about your roles as therapists, counselors, and community wellness leaders. That word is crazy. Most dictionaries start with the most offensive definitions of the word crazy. Webster starts with not mentally sound, marked by thought or action that lacks reason, insane, impractical, erratic, being out of the ordinary, unusual, afflicted with characteristics of mental derangement, foolish, not workable, not given to practical matters. But oddly enough, the second half of those definitions finish with positive definitions of the word: distracted, or with desire or excitement, absurdly fond, infatuated, bizarre or fantastic, being out of the ordinary or unexpected, slightly odd or even a bit weird, having or showing great interest. So now that I have my honorary doctorate from the Chicago School, it is my professional opinion that if the word crazy was a person, it should be clinically diagnosed as bipolar. If it is a word filled with the highs and lows, a word that one can find both repulsive and admirable, a word where mania and hypomania collide, a word that has been used to dismiss the most beautiful minds and validate the most corrupt personalities. It is a word that every armchair psychologist like myself throws around when we face senseless violence, man-made tragedies that we see on our news every evening. It is a word that your profession has spent years fighting the stigmas that it represents. But I'm here to tell you today, it is with this word in which your work must be done. Over 400 of you are sitting here today, patiently waiting for me to stop talking so that you can finally be conferred with the responsibility to go out and support the healing of those who are most impacted by a society that has not yet fully learned to prioritize wellness over consumption. You all have decided to take on community mental health challenges of systems that have been habitually underfunded and overwhelmed by need. You all decided not only to fight the stigma of your profession with those who need your services the most, but to address the policies that have contributed to generations of our society being labeled and ostracized. Finally, you have decided to do all of these things while seeking to maintain healthy personal relationships with friends and family, while simultaneously anchoring yourselves to your own personal wellness and your version of sanity. With all of that being said, I want to be the first to tell you from the bottom of my heart, you all are absolutely crazy. You all are crazy enough to attempt, crazy enough to keep going, crazy enough to seek wellness throughout the madness, and even crazier to think that you can support the healing of those who can feel that their existence could never be considered sane. Yet it is in the crazy moments of looking out into a society that seems dead set on cognitively tearing itself apart, you all will understand your worth and tremendous importance to those who need you most. You see, there's nothing crazy about caring for people under the most difficult conditions. It is an act of sanity to want to bring peace and balance to a world that incentivizes managed dysfunction. It is a deep sense of care that provides the opportunity to see the sea of possibilities that we have inherited as humans. It is in our care that the ball of yarn that represents the intractable problems of society begins to unravel and the opportunities of betterment become clear. It is in this clarity that provides us the grace to forgive ourselves when we feel that our care was not enough, and the fortitude to push ahead, not knowing if our efforts will ever make a difference. As you walk across the stage today, I ask you all to keep a little bit of crazy in your back pocket and to attach it to the care that allowed you to make it to this point. It is the ultimate gift when you look your colleagues in the eye, smirk, and realize that they are just as crazy as you and that they still decided to show up and do their best. I want to end this. Sorry. I did tell you I like dark humor. Forgive me. I want to end by thanking this great institution for this opportunity to be recognized for the work in which I've dedicated myself, and to show gratitude to my family, my friends, and co-workers who have formed a community of care around me. The work of community building is not for the faint of heart, but it's also not work that you can accomplish alone. And it is our ability to build coalitions of care that allow us to solve the most pressing issues of the day, so that our children can actually inherit a planet in which their dreams can flourish. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Williamson. That was a great speech that you blessed us with. One of the many traditions at institutions of higher learning is to hear from one of our graduates. For this year's ceremony, we have the opportunity to hear from two representatives of our graduating class. I am thrilled to present Caroline Susan Claffey from our Educational Specialist in School Psychology program as the representative of our graduating class from the Chicago campus. A Chicago native, Caroline graduated with a bachelor's degree from Indiana University with a double major in psychology and criminal justice. As an undergraduate, she volunteered at the Indiana Juvenile Correctional Facility, mentoring and preparing high schoolers for their post-release lives. After completing her degree in 2020, Caroline made the decision to enroll in the Chicago Schools Educational Specialist program. Her two younger sisters have driven her interest in child development and education. During her time at the Chicago School, Caroline was a member of the School Psychologist Student Organization, holding the position of co-social chair. She completed her internship at Evanston Township High School and her practicum within the Chicago Public Schools. This fall, Caroline will return to work in the Chicago Public Schools with her educational specialist degree and nationally certified school psychologist credential. Outside of school, Caroline loves to cook, travel, read, play golf, tennis, and do yoga. I need to hang out with Caroline. Earning the title of school psychologist is truly a dream come true for Caroline, one she couldn't have reached without the encouraging and inspiring support system. Please join me in welcoming Caroline Claffey to the podium.
The Chicago School is recognized for its many significant contributions. In simple words, this school represents things both conceptual and literal. Conceptually, people use words like leadership, teamwork, commitment, and passion when describing what it takes to succeed in a Chicago school program. The Chicago School is also recognized for the strength of its community and the vividness of its academic culture, the literal student body. We, the graduates of the Chicago School, are an essential part of what makes this institution special. We are leaders. We are team members. We are committed. We are passionate. And we are dedicated. All the conceptual words, but the literal words too. Active, diverse, engaged, and empowered. empowered to enact real change. Amid a global pandemic, the conceptual words were redefined. What does it mean to be a leader from home? What is teamwork when we are not together? That's when the literal stepped in and stepped up. I witnessed my community of students rise to the challenge of connection, integrity, and achievement in ways that were entirely new. We were part of pioneering a different type of achievement in the literal sense. To stand here today, we are a part of a beautiful reconceptualization of learning and living. It wasn't easy. The hours, the expectations, the curriculum. But if it was easy, then everybody would do it. Or so my father has told me since a very young age. If things aren't easy, if failure occurs, it means we've earned it by the grace of our will to be better, to grow. As graduates of this program, we're forging new paths. We're leading. As we leave the Chicago School, we are granted both the knowledge we need to serve our communities and the gift of knowing we aren't alone in this endeavor. Looking around this room, I feel a sense of both pride and accomplishment. I can do it. I can achieve great things. But our world will benefit exponentially more when we step out together as colleagues, all committed to bettering our communities together. Our ethics, empathy, and engagement are the hallmarks of Chicago School alumni, the perfect marriage of conceptual and literal. But beyond our will to work, what about our capacity to love? To find joy in our work and in each other? The answer is all in the application of what we've learned. Administering care is love. Listening is love. Leading is love. It is my great hope that my fellow graduates leave today with a great sense of excitement and pride for the lives we've changed, for the lives we will change. Congratulations, colleagues. Learning beside you has changed my life, literally.
Hello, I'm Dr. Alicia DeWalt, Dean of the College of Graduate and Professional Studies and Dean of the Online Campus. I am thrilled to present Kristen Lawhon as the representative of our online graduating class. Kristen Lawhon is a graduate of the Master of Psychology program with a generalist concentration. Prior to attending the Chicago School, she attained her associate's in early childhood education and a bachelor's in psychology at Arkansas Tech University. Kristen is a first-generation college graduate and is a member of the American Psychological Association, along with the Arkansas Psychological Association. Kristen is currently teaching adult mental health first aid, crisis prevention, and CPR first aid for the Academy of the Goodwill Industries of Arkansas. In her free time, she volunteers with the International Order of the Rainbow for Girls, a nonprofit girls' youth organization which focuses on leadership, public speaking, and college preparedness. Kristen also loves the opportunity to learn new things and is looking forward to using her master's degree to further mental health advocacy in rural communities. Please join me in welcoming Kristen Lahan to the podium.
Hello, my name is Kristen Lahan, and I am honored to be able to stand before you today in recognition of this amazing accomplishment. In the words of writer Arthur C. Clarke, the only way to discover the limits of the possible is to go beyond them into the impossible. In other words, we need to go above and beyond the usual in order to achieve true discovery and innovation. As a first-generation college graduate student, like many others here today, with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, or ADHD, achieving the impossible is my specialty. At the beginning of my educational journey, I never would have expected to graduate with a master's in psychology. I was raised by a single mom in a low-income household, so working a full-time job to support my education was a must. This made higher education seem impossible and out of reach. Then, one day, a friend mentioned the Chicago School of Psychology, a college where I could receive my master's fully online. Upon learning more, I knew that this was the community for me. Since enrolling, from the support of advisors, instructors, and classmates, I have been given a sense of community, and to feel that within this fully virtual context is incredible. Being a graduate of the Chicago School means more than just obtaining a degree. It means that we have achieved what most do not. It means that we have been given the opportunity to take this knowledge and use it to make a difference. This is what the Chicago School does so well. As classmates, we have been It is about learning not just from books, but from each other. This is what the Chicago School does. They take individuals who were embedded with barriers that were supposed to keep them from achieving their educational goals and turn them into educational professionals ready to make a difference. The Chicago School of Professional Psychology core values are associated with a commitment to innovation, service, and community. As alumni, we can use these values along with the degrees of our knowledge, whether in psychology, business, ABA, clinical, education, or counseling. We can all continue to bring awareness to the mental well-being of others, as well as to promote new, innovative approaches to improving our communities. As a member of several nonprofit organizations, I've seen the impact and hope created by individuals coming together. From the devastating tornado disasters in my hometown of Little Rock, Arkansas this past spring, I saw the community come together and make a greater impact than we could have done individually. Many nonprofits, businesses, organizations, and community members joined forces to help clean up the city and to provide for those who were impacted. Fellow graduates, we too can come together and use the skills we have acquired at the Chicago School to serve our communities. Let this be a reminder that with a sense of support and community, the impossible can become possible. And as we follow those before us and lead the ones behind us, let us not forget the ones who stand beside us. Congratulations, graduates. I hope this day is full of wonderful memories, celebrations, and accomplishments. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kristen. Now the time I know many of you have been waiting for. We shall now proceed with the presentation of graduates for degrees. Each candidate... It's exciting. It is. Each candidate has been approved by the faculty and the Board of Trustees to receive the degree indicated in the program and on their diploma, subject to the completion of all degree requirements. Now, this is the tough part, but in order to hear each graduate's name, we respectfully ask to hold applause to the end, but we promise we'll give you lots of time for applause and cheers. So let's get started. Thanks, everybody.
We will begin with the dual degree, Master of Science in Applied Behavior Analysis and Master of Arts in Counseling Psychology. I invite Drs. Maureen Keeshin and Cam Middleman forward to congratulate their student. Jessica Davis.
We will proceed with the graduates from the Applied Behavior Analysis Department. We will now announce the candidate for the Master of Arts in Applied Behavior Analysis. I invite Dr. Tyler Ray to join Dr. Cam Middleman in congratulating their students. Brian Gordon Jones.
We will now announce the candidates for the Master of Science in Applied Behavior Analysis. Tess Thompson.
Lindsay Ray Kamowski.
Riley Thomas.
Stephanie Williams.
Mary Lou Jonko.
Victoria Puglisi.
Sienna Juarez.
Stephanie Alvarado.
Lisbeth Bernal Ramirez.
Samantha Earls.
Maria Dominguez.
Allison Adair.
Rania Hanudi.
Bayan Washa.
Alexandra Marino.
Clarissa Martinez.
Anna Anaspora.
Holly Nicole Andrazik.
Sabrina Meneses.
This one and then the card. Ready? We will now announce the candidates for Doctor of Philosophy and Applied Behavior Analysis. I invite Dr. Middleman to begin hooding for the department. Jessica Gruber. Beyond behavior skills, an examination of a discriminate, operate, generate procedure to train behavior technicians.
Brian Katz. The use of equivalence-based instruction and frequency building in the instruction of behavior analytic concepts to the BCBA candidates.
Siobhan Nijolik, evaluating preferences for effort, the working smarter, not harder fallacy.
I invite Dr. Diana Walker to hood her students. Amy Siebold, delay discounting by social media users.
Marie Michelle Truchon, implicit attitudes towards gun violence in Chicago.
I invite Dr. Shannon Ormandy to hood her students. Sunina Nurani, the effects of environmental visual presentations on adoption interest of shelter dogs.
Shamchart Sakulku, stimulus control in point gain and point loss.
I invite Dr. Tyler Ray to hood his students. Alicia Bates, using mindfulness to increase staff use of antecedent strategies.
Candace Bindley, the effect of racially and socially loaded stimuli on preference hierarchies as an indication of bias in young children.
Cassandra Cosme, pyramidal training of foster families, using differential reinforcement of alternative behavior embedded in the trust-based relational intervention framework.
Angeline Eaton, developing the skills for prescriber collaboration among caregivers of individuals with Prader-Willi syndrome.
Crystal Fields, breaking biases, an evaluation of the effects of error correction on diminishing implicit biases regarding an individual's abilities based on knowledge of a diagnosis.
Rebecca Gonzalez, the effects of training board-certified behavior analysts to engage in rapport-building behaviors with registered behavior technicians using video modeling, role play, and performance feedback.
Nicole Canoe, a behavior analytic approach to couple therapy, an evaluation of functional behavior assessment training and social validity to address problem behaviors with couples.
Sarah Lalani, evaluating the effects of individual versus group video-based behavioral skills training on teaching supervisors to pinpoint.
Rebecca Larson, addressing burnout and delayed discounting using acceptance and commitment training with registered behavior technicians.
Lindsay LeBrun, the effects of mindfulness and behavior skills training on trauma-informed care and applied behavior analysis practice.
Stephanie Maddox, the effects of a revised task enjoyment motivation protocol on the work task of compiling documents for a behavior analytic insurance audit.
Alicia Naser, do changes in self-description correspond to changes in heart rate, a self-monitoring intervention?
Rachel Schneider, use of the Performance Diagnostic Checklist Human Services to prescribe an intervention for managers to implement to target employee productivity and job satisfaction.
Donna Skoka, a component analysis of lecture-based training plus video modeling and performance, feedback and developing PBIS during professional development for teachers.
Mary Strittman, assessing the impact of video length on the effectiveness and social acceptability of computer-based instruction programs.
Jane Goodman Tammick, look cool, die young, the effects of internet-based contingency management and differential reinforcement on smoking cessation.
Kristen Tyndall, assent withdrawal as reinforcer choice using FCT in children with ASD.
Vera Veronica Varan, Indo-Caribbean first-generation Americans, mixed methods finding on experiences and an ACT-informed intervention.
Danielle Watson, an operant analysis of preference for fair and equal contingency contexts.
We will proceed with the graduates from the Business Psychology Department, beginning with the candidates for the Master of Arts in Behavioral Economics. I invite Doctors Lanessa Rico and Christian Sivelyak forward to congratulate these students. Zachary Coser.
Jordan Portis.
We will now announce the candidates for the Master of Arts in Industrial Organization and Organizational Psychology. Maria Berznova.
Kira Cole.
Catherine Papalardo.
Cody Refior.
Derek Royce.
Antoine Taylor.
Maya Sanders.
Audrey Spence.
Chimera Stevenson.
Tulsi Anil Patel.
And Vita Shaw.
Amanda Frawley.
Isha Karnik.
Alexandra Friedman.
I now call forward the candidates for the Doctor of Philosophy and Business Psychology. I invite Dr. Sylviak to begin hooding for the department. Lori Otten, Vulnerability-Based Trust and Employee Engagement, a phenomenological study of Chick-fil-A franchise's leadership qualities.
Anthony Esposito, Cognitive Style as Related to the Heuristic and Biased Judgment in Healthcare.
Shantae Compton, Preference and Perception of Leadership Style and Self-Esteem, a follower's perspective within the workplace.
I invite Dr. Jennifer Thompson to hood her students. Michael Althouse, Social Dominance, Moral Disengagement, and Workplace Bullying.
Miguel Angel Capote Furman, the role of socioeconomic status in individual psychological capital and employee engagement.
Eric Parmenter, I had a bad day, but tomorrow I will carry on. Nurse burnout and the relationship between psychological capital and job embeddedness.
Tessa Zuniga, the influence of engaging leadership on job crafting and work engagement among frontline service workers.
I invite Dr. Charmin Parker Williams to hood her students. Aiden Guthman, Leadership Process and Cultural Values, a comparison of impact.
Yuduo Liao, Qualitative Analysis of Organizational Citizenship Behaviors in the Wake of the Pandemic.
Darshita Shaw, Differences in Inferences Made by Internal Recruiters and Staffing Agencies Recruiters about Candidates Based on Their Resume Content.
I now call forward the candidates for the Doctor of Philosophy in Organizational Leadership, beginning with Dr. Williams' students. Yaira Chikudo, the relationship between imposter phenomenon, work engagement, and psychological safety.
I now call forward the candidates for the Doctor of Philosophy in Organizational Leadership, beginning with Dr. Williams' students. Alexandria Sims, Perceptions of Organizational Justice in the Technology Industry.
I invite Dr. George Hay to hood his students. Kathleen Knapp, towards understanding the use of influence in leadership coaching.
Yusra Sadsar, at the intersectionality of growth mindset and technology acceptance and use, a quantitative study.
I invite Dr. Rico to hood her students. Andrakia Junerick, does a well workforce matter? An exploration of employee wellness, well-being, and employee engagement in the real estate industry.
I invite Dr. Civiljak to hood his students. Cleopatra Allen, the impact of succession planning in higher education on organizational performance and employee intentions to quit, a hierarchical linear regression analysis.
Andre Parchment, Ethical Leadership Approach to Decision-Making and Incivility, a phenomenological study of the ethical leadership challenge of incivility in ethical climates.
Wanda Martin Terry, The Socialization of Women in Leadership.
I now call forward the candidates from the Clinical Psychology Department, beginning with the Master of Arts in Clinical Psychology. I invite Dr. Anne-Marie Slobig to congratulate her students. Caroline Rutherford.
We will now announce the candidates for the Doctor of Psychology in Clinical Psychology. I invite Dr. Sue Bay to begin hooding for the department. Stephanie Finney, your bias is showing. Examining the biases of health psychologists towards their immigrant patients.
Molly Lorton, a phenomenological study on a primary care provider's perception of language and behavior as a result of the implementation of language interventions.
Sanjali Mehta, evaluating the relationship between anxiety and depression in people with chronic headaches and the extent of caregiver burden in their support person.
Shashina Polk, individual attitudes towards police after the death of George Floyd.
I invite Dr. Braden Berkey to hood his students. Elizabeth Shipman, the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on mental health professionals' telepsychology practices and experiences.
Blake Klinsky, just a swipe away, navigating the motivations behind downloading and using mobile dating applications during a global pandemic.
Rebecca Patterson Walzak, Better training for clinicians from clinicians, caring for TGNB pediatric patients in higher levels of care.
Lauren Phillips, trait narcissism as a predictor of breakup strategies among cisgender, heterosexual emerging adult males, a psychodynamic perspective.
I invite Dr. Nancy Botany to hood her students. Kanea Kura, COVID-19 and Anti-Asian Sentiment, the social and psychological effects on biracial children's racial socialization amongst Asian intermarried families.
Isha Mahajun, the lived experience of Indian American mothers, a phenomenological study.
Tamara Rothstein, the components and considerations for a Hispanic preschool child sexual abuse prevention program, a grounded theory analysis of expert recommendations.
Munia Sami, the impact of the French protectorate of Morocco defined as trauma.
Jennifer Thal, maternal messages, how young adult women describe conversations with their mothers about the body during adolescence.
Anna Uden, how college women navigate power imbalances in hookup culture, a phenomenological study.
I invite Dr. Janine Childs to hood her students. Chloe Michaela Ashley Givens, using deliberate practice to promote skill acquisition of emotion-focused therapy.
Kathy Patel, lived experiences of South Asian parents who have children with ASD in USA.
Zaina Sued, the relationship of acculturative stress and ethnic identity in second-generation Arab Americans.
Erica Lee Donahue Williams, the impact of team sports on the self-esteem development of adolescent girls.
I invite Dr. Michelle Cutler to hood her student. Gabrielle Wiley, a mother's bond, a relational approach to strengthening mother-child attachment in pregnant women who are addicted to substances and have a history of interpersonal trauma.
I invite Dr. Shanavia Dansby to hood her students. Sharice Amin Bawani, utilizing risk assessments to better understand an underdeserved population in different correctional settings.
Angela Juster, an exploration of the relationship between the presence of mental illness, a severe crime, and of substance use of women who have experienced incarceration.
Puram Jung, neurofeedback treatment and attention deficit hyperactivity disorder.
Nicolette Meebust, Female Sex Offender Typologies, a Cluster Analysis.
Maher Sharma, The Effects of Trauma and Substance Use on Violent and Nonviolent Offenses in Correctional Facilities, a Logistic Regressions Analysis.
I invite Dr. Todd Dubose to hood his students. Omar Diaz, a critical race analysis into the lived experiences of Latino male student affair professionals in higher education.
John Youngker, Meeting the Self-Care Mark.
Sarah Moruzin, Rise Up Gamers, the lived experiences of fantasy and escapism in role-playing video games.
Andrew Sarkeesian, Surviving Symbolic Death, Suicidal Ideation as a Path Toward Recovery.
Ariel Wilson, the lived experiences of mental health professionals providing virtual therapy during COVID-19.
I invite Dr. Ken Fogel to hood his students. Maria Fakuri, the lived experiences of mental health therapists during the initial months of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Sydney Gresham, How Best to Alleviate Nightmares in Trauma-Exposed Adults, a program development and evaluation study.
Brianna Lee Hatton, Cognitive, Emotional, and Neuropsychological Outcomes in Individuals with Treatment-Resistant OCD after undergoing MRI-guided laser incisional thermal therapy, neuroablative procedure. Case study.
Sachi Patel, Comorbidity and Polypharmacy, a systematic literature review of pharmacological interventions for pediatric ADHD and associated comorbidities.
Amanda Weisinger, Indices of Semantic Fluency Performance as Discriminators Between Alzheimer's Dementia, Vascular Dementia, and Mild Cognitive Impairment.
I invite Dr. Robert Fultz to hood his students. Taylor Brust, Supporting Foster Parents, Program Development for Foster Parents Training.
Haley Freeberg, Intergenerational Trauma Approach to Adolescent Residential Family Therapy.
Sierra Nathanson, a comprehensive literature review of the relationship between adverse childhood experiences and the foster care system.
Corey Shapiro, Adverse Childhood Experiences, the Use of Restraints, Seclusions, and Multidisciplinary Services, and the Impact on Behavioral Control for Children and Adolescents with Trauma Exposure.
Martin Touche, Demystifying Autism, a critical review of the literature examining dominant and alternative models of autism spectrum disorder.
I invite Dr. Janina Kam to hood her students. Corinne Gilday, the neurocognitive correlates of cannabis use and psychotic-like experiences.
I invite Dr. Stephen Kolb to hood his students. Rosanna Amelie Pagan-Ailman, examining, internalizing, and externalizing psychopathology using the MMPI-2RF, a lesion-based approach.
Shauna Allen, assessing child development in child custody evaluations.
Anne Rush, using parent report and performance-based measures to assess for ADHD.
Harold Wolf Steger, pre-employment psychological screening of police applicants, understanding factors contributing to the outcomes on appeal.
I invite Dr. Cynthia Langtu to hood her students. Jolene Derblick, socio-emotional learning and graduate school training.
Jamari Evans, shedding light on sexual functioning and overall quality of life in women from various ethnicities during different stages of menopause.
Amira Farag, understanding marital intimacy among Muslims and the role of sexual health education. What is missing and where do we go from there?
Amber Latish Johnson, shattered bonds, incest and reunification in African American communities, a critical review and auto-hermeneutic phenomenological study.
Lena Mobeirik, religious identity development in American Muslim University students.
Rima Mubeirik, a gendered exploration of American Muslim emotional health.
Sheila Shepard Chafin, quantitative study of parent interventions, frequency of interventions, parents report using regarding adolescent risk and protection factors.
I invite Dr. Pamela Nezelhowski to hood her students. Elise Bennett, to fake or not to fake, connections between sexual assertiveness and pretending to orgasm.
Brianna Vivacqua, always connected, examining the relationship between communication technology and attachment style.
I now invite Dr. Anne-Marie Slobig to hood her students. Anthony Crisanti, investigating the experience of unprofessional conduct accusations.
Cecily Ann Herbie, evaluating the accessibility of neuropsychological services, an area for growth in the field of clinical neuropsychology.
Jordan Mazik, the impact of apostasy, a phenomenological study on the effects of leaving religion.
Farhad Syed, using emotion-focused therapy in working with shame and self-criticism in a Muslim demographic. For the degree in Master of Arts of Counseling Psychology, Diana Strinich.
Han Vo, associations between parenting styles and symptom severity in Vietnamese children with attention deficit and hyperactivity disorder.
Do it again. And now, MA Counseling Psychology degree, Diana Strinich. We will now proceed with the Master of Arts in Counseling Psychology graduates. I invite Dr. Maureen Keeshan forward to congratulate her students.
Hifsa
Javier Aguilar.
Hifsa Ayaz.
Isabella Bebenek.
Reagan Bell.
Jessica Betty.
Dana Hickman.
Jacob Borgie.
Anissa Brazier.
Rebecca Caliendo.
Aaron Callahan.
Edwidge Charles.
Navi Klein.
Joshua Della Villa.
Nicole Diaz.
Tiffany Early.
Haroon Ikram.
Courtney Evans.
Taylor Eckberg.
Jessica Edge.
Julia Egbers.
Jennifer Vermaint.
Jessica Guerrero.
Julie Henneth.
Robert Karcher.
Samantha Heberlein.
James Logan Grider III.
Aubrey Lee.
Catherine Hennessy.
Rachel Kahan.
Taylor Jade Cohen.
Arthur F. Jimenez.
Michelle Ann Hacker.
Robin Conrad.
Hannah Isabel Krapostman.
Nadia Kavari.
Lillianne Rogers.
Brianna Mitchell.
Gabriella Bonucci.
Daniel Carl Ninig.
I think I got that right.
Kathleen Perry.
Jerry Knight.
Ma'ab Osman.
Bernice Martinez.
Paulina Mischak.
Emily Maui.
Gabrielle Francis Magnus.
Sherry Moore.
Paola Mendoza.
Vishva Maniar.
Aya Mustafa.
Amanda Peterson.
Malite Peterson Wood.
Lauren Nicole Preboy.
Gina Powell.
Olivia Ramirez.
Nicole Renfro.
Ebony Nicole Robinson.
Layla Rodriguez.
Luke Rossi.
Victoria Rose Roti.
Shifa Saeed.
Anna Karen Sandoval.
Brianna Sanborn.
Mary Claire Seaman.
Deshace Short.
Nicole Smigliani.
Alyssa Smokey.
Nicole Sonnefeld.
Cameron Stam.
Haley Tarling.
Anthony Tarones.
Danielle Tetrault.
British Wainwright Roan.
Kimberly Devon Wallace.
Christina Walls.
Jade Woods.
Hannah Renee Zimmerman.
I now call forward the candidates for the Counselor Education Department. Beginning with the Masters of Arts in Clinical Mental Health Counseling, I invite Dr. Jeff Strozier and Dr. Susan Foster forward to congratulate their students. Michelle J. Bilecki.
Spencer Carroll.
Ali Charnov.
Cameron Shaken.
Johanna Cushing.
Avalon Dome.
Santiago Duran.
Jasmine Flanagan.
Victoria Sofia Gonzalez.
Jaden Gabeline.
Margaret Hunt.
Emily Huckabee.
Clay Jutilla.
Daniel Johnson.
Ryan Louie.
Nisha Mirjankar.
Jaya Motawani.
Jordan Kolakowski.
Elizabeth Lowe.
Kirsten Mitchell.
Peyton Phillips.
Leonicia Perry.
Montana Ross.
Cristal Rosario.
Alexis Spicala.
Vida Simmons.
Carrie R. Sutton.
Emma Shaw.
Catherine M. Serbaugh.
Megan White.
Isabel Mercedes Zapata.
We will now announce the candidate for the Doctor of Philosophy and Counselor Education and Supervision. I invite Dr. Jeff Strozier to hood for the department. Kawana Williams. Ain't I a Woman? The lived experiences of adolescent and young female reproductive cancer survivors living with infertility.
I now call forward the candidates for the Doctor of Education in Educational Psychology and Technology. I invite Dr. Breda McGrath to hood for her department. Shakira Sharif, College Student Experiences with Mindfulness.
Brooke Urbina, Teacher Educators and Technology Integration.
We will now announce the candidates for the Master of Arts in Forensic Psychology. I invite Dr. Anna Bellamonte forward to congratulate her students. Anna Abernathy.
Kaylee Aldridge.
Janira Alexander.
Mackenzie Ash.
Lisa Blaine.
Shannon Bushman.
Corinne Pfeiffer.
Flora Carranza.
Jazz Cooper.
Rosa de Leon.
Kia Dean.
Leona Egan.
Rio Egan.
Yesenia Garza.
Olivia Glossa.
Dominique Harris.
Jade Hull.
Kalia Hunter.
Onicia John.
Imani Jockett.
Rebecca Jackson.
Marley Jenkins.
Claire Kimmis.
Ashley Kolazar.
Julia Lynch.
Aaron Lager.
Brianna Marcelin.
Kiera Matlock.
Jennifer Mizell.
Tierra Mingo.
Brianna Napier Cortez.
Taylor Paglia.
Lauren Paniawa.
Jordan Pope.
Rolene Pritchard.
Emily Rainey.
Aaron Raymond.
Madeline Rule.
Megan Schmieder.
Taylor Schaefer.
Hunter Somar.
Brenna Strandberg.
Anusia Submaranian.
I now call forward the candidates from the International Psychology Department, beginning with the Master of Arts in International Psychology. I invite Dr. Alicia Eubanks forward to congratulate her students. Victoria Taylor.
Jennifer Beal.
We will now announce the candidates for the Doctor of Philosophy in International Psychology. I invite Dr. Alicia Eubanks to begin hooding for the department. Amber O'Neill Smith.
Kaylee Marie White. Alzheimer's Caregivers, the global psychological impact of watching loved ones deteriorate.
I now invite Dr. Karen Brown to hood her students. Taylor Dombeck. Mosquito Mental Health in the Anthropocene.
Francis Adine Neff Walker, Haitian Immigrant Families' View of Acculturation, an Interpretive Phenomenological Analysis.
Shafia Raymond, A Cross-Cultural Study, The Boundaries of Beauty in American and Indian Women.
Tiffany Latoya Way, A Phenomenological Perspective of Transgenerational Transmission of Trauma Among the Garifuna Population of Nicaragua.
I invite Dr. Pip McGurl to hood her student. Devin Burkaw, medical and mental health experiences and overall well-being of MSM and self-identified gay men living in Rwanda, an interpretive phenomenological analysis.
I will now call forward the candidates for degrees in psychology, beginning with the Bachelor of Arts in Psychology. I invite Drs. Brandy Blunt and Dr. Maureen Keeshan to congratulate their students. Alexandra Andriva.
Amila Biadich.
Patrick Cooper.
Kayla Cree Colors.
Jordan Hillman.
Olympia Kaminska.
Shauna Markai.
Brianna Martinez.
Ashley McKinney.
Hannah Messerschmidt.
Nora Molitor.
Lizette Perez.
Jessica Lynn Petway.
Candace Morgan.
Kaya Nelson.
Victor Manuel Placencia Jr.
Natasha Newtall.
Tiffany Navarro.
Annalie Pellicott.
Katura LaRue Renault.
Taez Romero.
Michael Vernez.
Ashley Williams.
We will now announce the candidates for the Master of Arts in Psychology. I invite Dr. John Darlin to congratulate his students. Annabelle Arietta.
Bria Brown.
Lakeisha Brown.
Brittany Cossey.
Sashika Edwards.
Khadija Guyton.
LaMontrielle Odell Hale.
Robin Hawkins.
Eileen Hernandez.
Dana Jafal.
Angela Piccini.
Lindsay Rigby.
Kristen Lawhon.
We now announce the candidate for Master of Arts in Psychopharmacology. I invite Dr. Alicia DeWalt to congratulate the student. Abigail Smith.
We will now announce the candidate for the Master of Public Health. Melissa Mason.
I now call forward the candidates from the School of Psychology Department, beginning with the Education Specialist in School Psychology. I invite Dr. Rachel Losoff to congratulate her students. Mark Benedict, Jr.
Lisa Marie Beal.
Brianna Bryant.
Maria Callie.
Linda DeAnda.
Hannah Featherstone.
Emma Grates.
Nicole Grisbowski.
Jawaria Hamed.
Claire Hawthorne.
Nicholas Holtzkopf.
Rashida Hope Tidwell.
Catherine Huppy.
Robin Kahn.
Mary McInerney.
Aubrey Meckelberg.
Maya Montoya.
Letitia Chantel Pierce.
Kara Plesha.
William Poland.
Jasmine Ports.
Charles Robinson.
Caroline Susan Claffey.
Jessa Snyder.
Samantha Sujay.
Hina Tulani.
Martina Truta.
Brianna Washington.
I now call forward the candidates for the Doctor of Psychology in School Psychology. I invite Dr. Losoff to begin hooding for the department. Alexa Lowry. The impact on attention and working memory in school-aged children who have had COVID-19, an exploratory analysis.
Natalie Norlund, Virtual Social and Emotional Learning Interventions, a systematic review and meta-analysis.
I invite Dr. Kishana Brooks to hood her student. Esther Aguilar Tejada, culturally sensitive delivery of school-based services to Salvadorian immigrant students, a comprehensive review and analysis of the literature.
I invite Dr. Evan Harrington to hood his student. Taylor Janae Cox, exploring the relationship between students' perception of parental involvement and the students' overall attitudes towards school.
I invite Dr. Candace Hughes to hood her student. Nicole J. Medina Garoza, imploring the use and impact of targeted social emotional apps with high school students as a tool for self-management of stress, anxiety, and depression.
I invite Dr. Pip McGurl to hood her student. Zara Somani, understanding Pakistani immigrant students' lived experiences of language brokering on their academic and social emotional development in U.S. schools.
I invite Dr. Jimmy Walsh to hood his student. Lanice Towns, impact of lead poisoning on students' reading skills, a comprehensive literature review of best practice in reading interventions.
This concludes the presentation of graduates.
Is that all you've got? Come on, give it up for them. Will all the candidates please rise? And I'll have Dr. Scholes join me at the podium. Dr. Scholes, on the behalf of the faculty of the Chicago School, I present to you these candidates who have been approved by the faculty and the Board of Trustees to receive the degree indicated subject to the completion of all requirements, and respectfully request that you confer upon them the degrees for which they are qualified.
Should we do this? By the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of the Chicago School and by the State of Illinois, I hereby confer upon you the degrees for which you have qualified with all the rights, privileges, immunities, and honors thereunto pertaining. Candidates for bachelor's degrees, you may now move your tassels from right to left. I invite all our graduates to turn and show their appreciation to the people who have helped them make this moment possible. Friends, family.
Okay. Graduates, please remain standing. Locate the oath of affirmation and diversity in your commencement bulletin. I invite the faculty to rise and join us. Other professionals may also join us to reaffirm your oath. Please raise your right hand and recite with me. You have it? Are we ready? I hereby affirm together that I shall discharge the responsibilities of my profession in a manner consistent with respect for the dignity and worth of individuals and communities, and that I shall strive for the preservation and protection of fundamental human rights, that I shall seek to increase knowledge of human behavior, cultures, and experiences to increase self-understanding and understanding of others, and that I shall use such knowledge for the promotion of dignity and human rights, that I shall seek to embrace the profession's commitment to understand and respect individual, social, contextual, and cultural differences, that I shall diligently protect the human rights of those who seek my services, and that I shall use my skills only in the furtherance of human rights and the integrity of the individual, that I shall strive to acknowledge and remove systemic barriers that prevent the ability of groups, individuals, and organizations to access services that promote the well-being of all, and that I shall well and truly recognize the traditions, ethics, and boundaries of my profession, and that I shall subscribe to these traditions and ethics freely and upon my honor. As a representative of the Chicago school community, I hereby affirm to actively participate in this learning and professional community by embracing its commitment to understand and respect individual, social, contextual, and cultural differences. As such, I will seek to gain knowledge of human difference, that I may increase my understanding of self and others, and I will seek to build an environment of mutual respect and inclusion where all are valued.
You may sit down. I'm not going to make you stand through my speech. Congratulations, class of 2023. It is my great honor and privilege to celebrate with you and your loved ones today, and to welcome you into our Chicago School alumni community. As we reflect on your last few years of your time here at the Chicago School, it is truly amazing and a journey to behold. Regardless of your program of study, you came here to spark change, be it for yourself, your family, or your community. You worked tirelessly, juggling your coursework with your professional lives and personal responsibilities. I hope that you take some time to reflect on what today's diplomas signify, not just your classroom learning, but your unwavering commitment to the betterment of your communities even in the face of endless balancing act of life's responsibilities. Most importantly, as students, you not only collected information about your field, but you set out to use that information to serve those around you. Your steadfast commitment to change and to equity reminds me of the teachings of the great Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. As Dr. King once wrote, "Intelligence plus character, that is the goal of true education." Dr. King's highlights it's not enough to just gain knowledge, to sit in classrooms and gather up facts and figures about your field. This is not education. Education is putting that knowledge to work for understanding, using it to make a real difference for others in need. In other words, the power of great education is not just in the classroom or outside of it. We need both experiences to make most of our opportunities. Through your time here at the Chicago School, you have lived out the best of Dr. King's values, using your discoveries in the classroom to fuel your impact outside of it. You spent countless hours out in the community making an impact before you've even received your diplomas, working in clinics to talk community members through life's most pressing challenges, and partnering with growing organizations to help them fully achieve their loftiest goals. This work was certainly taxing, both physically and mentally, but for your commitment to make your communities better from day one, even considering these challenges, I applaud you. Looking ahead, I challenge you to keep Dr. King's teachings echoing inside your head as you chart the next steps in your journey as a community-focused change maker. Think not of just what you learned here, but also why you learned it. Keep your passion for equity and justice as your professional compass in the months and years ahead. Equipped with the sense of direction and purpose, I know that you will find a way to make a lasting impact. No matter what is beyond the horizon for you, I'm confident that your unique combination of know-how and grit will spell countless accomplishments and successes. I look forward to the pride that your work to serve as a voice for the voiceless and an advocate for the marginalized will bring to us as a university community. Whether it's changing communities for the better as a psychologist, a counselor, an HR professional, or business leader, I know that you have the resolve needed to be a positive light for those around you, leading the way toward equity. As you receive your diploma today, recognize that these are not mere pieces of paper. These are contracts that you have been signing piece by piece all throughout your Chicago School journey. By taking on the title of Chicago School alumni, you commit yourself to living out Dr. King's vision that education signifies both your intelligence and your character. Now it's time to fuse those forces together to realize your wildest change-making dreams. Congratulations. Again, class of 2023. Thank you.
Congratulations to our graduating students, and welcome to our alumni family. This concludes the 2023 commencement exercises for the Chicago and online campuses. Guests, please remain seated until all faculty and graduates have exited the auditorium. Thank you.